Alright, so I'm going to show you a pretty cool way to get contact details from some of the places you never thought existed. And the whole process is going to be very simple, pretty straightforward, all using no code. So even if you haven't done this before, or maybe you've dabbled a little bit in no code tools like Make.com or N8N, you'll be able to follow along. Now, the best way to show you this is by sharing how a smart member just made his first $4,000 operating a sales agency. So what I've done is I hopped on a call with him to help him deliver the projects, which is part of something that I like to call first client reward, where whenever a member makes their first sale, I just help them deliver the project. And since I was already helping him deliver it, I mentioned this method. So I figured I'd share it with you too, because I believe this is like the best way to give you guys value since you're seeing actual money made, not just here's the method, right? So like I always say, let's print some money. All right, first client, $4,000 collected. Happened pretty fast. Launched first campaign 2 weeks ago to a test batch of 600. Within a week's time, I had a positive reply, nurtured into a discovery call, and also pitched during that call. Beautiful. As you guys can see, like I always say, you do not need thousands of contacts. You only need a couple, right? You just need like 600 to 700 to actually get a client or like get a sales customer, right? So read through this. Happened pretty fast. I launched first campaign 2 weeks ago to a test batch of 600. So only 600. That's all that you need. Anyone who tells you need thousands of contacts, you need to spam people, you need to talk to everyone, they don't know what they're talking about. Okay? So $2,500 setup plus $1,500 a month for a minimum of 5 meetings plus $300 for each collected first month upfront. So the first month upfront is $2,500, which is awesome. Saad, can we connect so I can get hooked up with your first client when support and unlock the onboarding module? Of course, my man. I did nothing other than follow the process. It works. Of course it works, man. Of course. So when you really think about it, a 4K collected from just a 600 batch, right? Just 600 contacts. That's insane return on investment. It's like insane ROI. 600 like contacts, you get 600 contacts. It's probably going to cost you like maybe like $1, maybe less than that, using when you like extract the data, right? So it's less than $1 in terms of like the ROI, right? So that's pretty insane, right? So it's just good to show you guys that the process is very simple. You just starts, right? That's all you have to do. So like he said, launched first campaign 2 weeks ago to test batch 600. Within weeks, I got a positive reply, just like I do these live demos where I essentially just go ahead and try to get some customers live in front of you. So he nurtured into a discovery call and also pitched during the call. Just like I always say, never, this is a good way to mention this. Never like say this, I'll send you a proposal. That's a bad mistake, okay? Always close or at least try to close during the call, right? Don't say or don't make the mistake of, let me just send you a proposal because that's how we get ghosted, right? So always gauge the interest within the call. If they're interested and they want to move forward, then thumbs up. Just send them the proposal during the call. What I do is just literally share my screen and I say, hey, let me just send you the proposal right now. And then let's just look over it together. If it sounds good, thumbs up, can just pay, and then we can get up and running as quickly as possible, right? So there we go. That's how you do it. Now, let's talk about what his client does, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the system and we're going to use a cool method to extract the data, right? And then I'm going to map out the system. We're going to build it, etc., from start to finish, right? So his client helps staffing companies save money by finding the best company to handle payroll, which means paying their workers, and insurance, which means protecting them if they get sick or hurt. So his client wants a system that connects them with owners of independent staffing agencies that have around 30 or more employees, okay? So 30 or more plus employees, mainly in New York, Florida, Pennsylvania, basically the US, okay? So if you read through this, well, they want a system that connects them with what? Owners of independent staffing agencies. Now, how do we build a system that's going to allow us to do this at scale? To kind of like extract the data, find the contact details, which is going to be the owners. Like I said, they have to be 30 plus more employees, and also mainly in New Jersey, Florida, Pennsylvania, and also New York. Well, I'm going to show you exactly how. Well, first, let's talk about how do we actually get the contact details. Well, there's multiple ways, right? There's multiple ways. We can use like the generic lead sourcing database, kind of like Apollo. Apollo is basically like a lead sourcing database. You can also use LinkedIn, right? The biggest B2B or B2C, also B2C, a hub of where all decision makers, founders, etc. hang, right? Or we can use industry databases. This is exactly what we're going to do. So industry databases, right? And I made like an entire video about this. Probably going to link it in description. Or maybe if you just go to my channel, you're going to notice that there's a bunch of videos. And in this video, I spoke about like industry databases, like the biggest lead sourcing databases out there. There's Apollo, LinkedIn, Crunchbase, Angelus, Wellfound. And I specifically spoke about these industry ones where essentially there's like publications, member lists, etc. And usually people don't go there to extract the data, just like what we do. They don't go there to make money, right? Just like I'm assuming you're watching this because you want to make a ton of money. So a normal person wouldn't go to these industry databases just extract the data, but we do, right? Since we are operators and you are watching this, you are an operator, right? But there's multiple industry databases, like I said, that have leads and contact details that you would need, right? So in his case, he wants independent staffing agencies. Now, of course, there's databases where you can find these independent staffing agencies. And like I always say, on the internet, there's gold mine for people who want to make money, right? You just gotta look and research and do a little bit of research. So I've done a little bit of research and I found this database, which is called American Staffing Association Member Directory, which is this one. So you can literally find staffing firm, right? So the ASA member directory lets you research and find member that meet criteria of location, type of staffing. So type of staffing, what agencies? So what we want independent, right? So this is the American Staffing Association. So we can essentially just click on search. So this takes me to this web page here, right? So what do I want? Well, I want recruitment process outsourcing. I also want direct hire. I also want, because his clients wants, I believe he wants accountant, finance, and also engineer, okay? And we're going to type in, for example, New Jersey, right? And then we're going to click on search. So what's going to happen here is that we're going to fetch, which means we're just going to get all the what agencies, right? So let's look at this. Okay, so we get everything. JM7 resources. So all of these, right? Industry staffing services. The cool part is that it also gives you like where it's located in the map, which is pretty insane. Okay, so let me check. Okay, so if it's direct hire, recruitment outsourcing, recruitment process outsourcing. Okay, so this is independent. So now we found the data, right? If I click on this visit website, so this is exactly what we want. There we go. This is how you find those recruitment agencies. By the way, since I'm like looking at this right now, you can literally use this list if you're going for the recruitment niche, right? Instead of like using Apollo, right? Okay, so now you might be thinking, Saad, well, okay, I found the data. Well, how can I extract it without doing this manually? Well, there's multiple ways. You can literally just copy this, right? Copy it and you go page by page. This is like the manual way. But there's also better ways and we're going to automate it, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use an extension. It's called Instant Data Scraper, right? Which is this one. I already have it in my Chrome. Not Chrome, I'm using Brave. So this extension, I like this logo. Is it like Pokemon, right? It's Pokemon, right? So it allows you to get the data, right? So all you got to do is download it. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to page 1. And once you download it, here's what you want to do. You want to go to your extensions tab. And we're going to run it and it's going to essentially click the buttons for us. It's going to extract all of this and then click the next button and extract the next thing. So all I got to do is essentially just go to Instant Data Scraper. So there we go. We got it. So this is all the columns, isn't it? Also the city and state. So all I got to do, so you see this is all selected. You want to click on Locate Next button. And it's going to be 2. And then you want to go back and click on Start Crawling. So check this out. So page scrape 1, 2, see? Rows collected 30. So done. So now we can just copy this and dump into a Google Sheets. So this is exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to sheets.new, right? So what we've done here is we have kind of like New Jersey. So you can essentially just name this, for example, New Jersey. And then all you got to do is you go back here, Instant Data Scraper, and you click on Copy All. Boom. And done. See? And now you can just use the Geese font, which is the best font on the planet. And then all you got to do is just delete some of this stuff here. So you can totally make this a little bit more beautiful if you want, right? Bolden this up. So this is all New Jersey, right? We also get exactly what they do, like what kind of like industry they are in. Engineering, healthcare, which is awesome. We also get the company names. Now, obviously, there's like a couple duplicates here. So you can create a filter. And actually, you do not want to create a filter. You want to go to data, and then you want to go to data cleanup, remove duplicates. Done. And we can just delete this. Awesome. So we got all of this. So this is New Jersey, right? So what we can do is we can do the same thing for every state in the US, right? So for example, I'm going to go back. What do they want? So mainly New York, New Jersey, Florida. I believe in New York is going to be more because New York is much bigger, right? New York. Okay. Oh, we can also add healthcare too. Forgot. Also healthcare. So how much do we have? Let's add industrial information technology. So we can run the same thing, right? Go back to Instant Data Scraper, and then we can go to Locate Next button. And now we have what? 4 pages. So the next one, go back to Instant, start crawling. Now, check this out. It's scraping all the data for me, right? Now, give that some thoughts. If you have like an industry database or you want to scrape from something, you can just use this and kind of like just extract the data, and it's going to click the buttons for you, right? So again, I can copy all, create a new row, and then paste everything here, right? So this is from what? New York, right? So you can totally continue doing this. Obviously, there's like thousands of contacts here, right? There's like, I believe more, probably millions, because this is the American Staffing Association, right? You can also, as you can see, and you can add as many as you want, right? Direct hire, temporary hire, right? HR consultant, online employment, whatever you want, right? So I hope that makes sense, right? So now all I got to do, so since I have this list, right? I can name it like, for example, New York, right? New York. But let me just use this first list here, because now I have this kind of like this list, but it's all cluttered. I only have the company names, but I also got the domain name, which is huge. Really good. Since I have the website, I can pretty much do everything. Like I always say, the general rules, if you get at a website, right, you can pretty much do everything. You can find the decision makers. You can scrape their website to feed it to AI to get like a personalization. You can find the employees, right? So all I got to do right now is simply just click all these, close all these tabs, and then I'm going to name this New Jersey Staffing Independent. Right, so what comes after this? Well, now we're going to automate this by going to make.com, which is a no-code tool, right? So all I got to do is I'm going to add a Google Sheets here so I can retrieve the data. So I'm going to go to Google Sheets, search rows. So now all you got to do, right, you want to connect your Google account. You want to go to Spreadsheet ID. You will just copy this, go back, paste it here, and now we can get it, right? Obviously, the sheet name is going to be whatever you have here. So it's New Jersey, right? Usually it's sheet 1, but since we named this, it's New Jersey. And then in terms of the limits, just put 1, okay? So run once, and you'll be able to get it in make.com, right? So you get everything here. HRIA consultant. Okay, sweet. So this is going to be get data. All right, what comes after this? Well, since we have the website, well, we can't just look at the website or the list. Well, we need to enrich. Well, after this, what do we want? Since we got the list, well, we need to enrich, which means adding more contact details to the list. Well, the best way to do it is the best way to enrich is by using either enriching by a poll, A lot of people don't know, but Apollo is actually like not only a lead sourcing database, but you can enrich, because since it's a lead sourcing database, well, within the lead sourcing database, there's leads, right? And when you kind of like just give them, here's the website, can you give me the decision makers? They're going to try within the lead sourcing database that they have, whether it exists, and they're going to give you the decision maker. Or we can use a better platform, which is called People's Data Labs. Now, I've showed you this platform before. It's really good. It's called People's Data Labs. Their free tier is really good, actually. So I believe I need to log in with Google, probably. Let me see. So you just need to sign up. Yeah, receive the code. Let me just go to my email and get the code here. So there we go. I'm going to copy it, paste it here. Remember this device for 30 days. Thank you. Right now, in order for you to use it in Make.com or like N8N or any no-code tool, you're gonna have to read their documentation. So it looks like there's an error when it comes to this cookie here. So let me just clean the cookies. In your case, you're not gonna have this, probably because I've used it. Well, I've used this platform. Which is the reason. Oh, there we go. See, when you clean the cookies, this is like a good learning experience. When you clean the cookies, usually like there's like some fetching data there, or like I don't know. So all I gotta do right now is use it. Now we're gonna have to follow along exactly what I'm doing, because their API documentation is pretty confusing. But I had to read it, and I'm gonna show you kind of like the exact endpoint to use, which is gonna be API playground is gonna be person search API, yes. So they use something called SQL, right? So all I got to do is I'm going to add an HTTP request here, and you're going to copy exactly what I do, okay? So the URL is going to be API peoplesdatalabs.com v5/person/search. The method is going to be get. You want to add the header. Now, all you got to do is you want to go to your API keys here. You want to copy your API key, copy it, and then paste it here. And then here's what you want to pay attention. You want to go to parse response. You want to go to body type is going to be raw. Content type is going to be JSON. And then in the request content, you're going to use this. So I'm simply just using an SQL. And let me check if you can actually see it. But I'm just going to put myself in here, right? So you can see everything. Okay, so all I got to do right now is simply just map in the website. See, this is like an SQL where they essentially is just how they query their API. Very annoying, but you can just copy it. This is how you get the owner, right? You see founder, job title, CEO, right? So I'm going to click on save, and let me just run once. So I get an error. Oh yeah, because I forgot to remove this, right? Because it was already had .com. Now I'm not going to have that issue. Check this out. So what I've done now is I essentially just use their platform to find the decision maker, and I found her, Emily Almani. So is she the owner of the staff and firm or not? Moment of truth, right? Let's see. Talent matchmaker. Atria Consulting LLC. Head of operations and staffing. Well, same thing. Senior client acquisition. Head of operation and staffing. Well, yes, she's the head. So this is exactly what we want. This is the person. What a cute little banner, right? All right, so this is gonna be get decision maker. Okay, so since I have the decision maker, well, what comes after this? Well, I have everything, right? I have the websites, job title, crazy stuff, right? I have the profiles, her LinkedIn. I also get her Facebook, her Twitter, her education, her experience, country where she lives, which is pretty creepy, skills, interests, cold calling. Well, that's insane, right? I don't know how they do this in People's Data Labs. It's very interesting, right? But since we got everything, well, now what comes after this? Well, it comes finding their emails. Now, People's Data Labs actually gives you the emails sometimes. So let me check if there's email. So email equals true. Sometimes it includes the email, which is specifically included here, but sometimes they don't, right? But we don't really care because we're going to find our own way. We're going to do it ourselves. Just like the little maiden, right? And I believe it was Charlie Munger who said that. He says, if your mentors or teachers don't have a multidisciplinary approach of multiple ways to solve problems, not just married to one ideology. Well, you just gotta do it yourself, right? So that's like what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it ourselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an email enrichment platform, which is going to be an email finder. Okay. So I'm just going to go to an email finder, and the way it works is you're just going to give it like a domain, which is what we have. And you're also going to give it like the person, right? The full name of the person. And then it's going to give you their email. So all you got to do is you want to go to an email finder. I have a couple credits here. Okay. The reason I'm using it instead of using my own platform, because if you guys don't know, I have my own platform that I built specifically for people in my community. Instead of them paying for an email finder, which is like $200 a month, I built my own and I use it too. So it's kind of like the same thing, right? It finds the emails for you, finds whether they are valid or not. And it's unlimited, right? Instead of like using an email finder that they spoon feed you like 1,000 tokens for like $50, they can just get it for free, right? So I'm just going to use an email finder because I believe you guys don't have it, which is fine. I'm just going to copy this right here. This is your API key, right? So I have like 300 credits here. The reason why I actually just add more credits here is because when I'm recording these videos, I'm cognitive of you guys who don't have it, right? What am I doing? I shouldn't put the domain here. I should put it here. Okay. So you want to go to API token and simply just paste it here. Okay. So all I got to do right now is go to search by domain. And obviously I have the domain, right? Which is domain, right? And the full name is basically the data that I got when I got the decision maker, which is Emily Almani. Now, this is lowercase. So I'm going to use a make.com formula. It's called start case, right? Which allows me to capitalize the first word of each, the first character of each word. And I click on save and click on run once. And then boom, I just found the email, which is awesome. So Emily at Atria Consulting. Sweet. So it's going to be fine email. Okay. So what comes after this? Well, I've done everything, right? We've done everything. We got the list, high intent, really good. Found the decision maker. Now we found their email. Well, we need to personalize everything at scale. Okay. So how do we do this? Well, since we have a gold mine of data, well, we can go to town, right? We have the job title of the person. We have kind of like where they live, right? Which is interesting. So we can do some pretty cool stuff, right? We can use AI to automate the hell out of this thing and generate one-on-one copies that actually don't sound like AI, right? So all I got to do is add an AI model of choice. I'm going to use Azure, which is my favorite. In your case, if you have any AI model, whatever you want, it could be Gemini, which is free, by the way. You can use Azure too, Claude, OpenAI, whatever you want, right? So I'm just going to use my deployment name, GPT-4o. GPT-4o, fun fact, is way better than GPT-5. GPT-5 sucks, right? I don't know. GPT-4o just feels just right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you guys the prompts that I built before recording this video. So you can just plug and play, right? And let me just copy it and paste it. So this is the prompt. You must return exactly this format. Saw you've been in the job title at company name since the start of the year. Kudos for leading the responsibility at a company with the age, your old company with company size employees. Now that might sound like magic, right? But it's not really. It's just turning like a copy into a template, which is called the anti-fragile method. You essentially just write a specific dream email to someone, and then you turn it into a template and you use AI to automate it at scale, right? Instead of like trying to get AI to guess, right? Because AI is pretty stupid when it comes to writing entire outreach copies. And essentially just give it like a perfect example. So all I got to do is just feed in data. So I'm going to scroll down. So the job title, I'm going to use the job title, which is job title here. Job title. So job title, head of operations and staffing. I'm simply going to put it here. Company name is going to be company name that I got, which is here, Atria Consulting LLC. Start here, which is job start date, which is 2017. So she started working at this company in 2017. Okay. Responsibility, title has vision, company age. Okay. So company age, which is, I believe it's company founded. Yeah, company founded at 2006. So we can add this. It's crazy. This people's data labs, man, is just... Okay, company size. I'm just using like a convert size, which is 1,000, which is going to be 1,000 plus. So AI don't just give me like jargon. So company size. So it's 1,000, okay, which is exactly what we want, right? You remember? Plus 30. right? Plus 30. So I'm going to add size here. And I believe that's pretty much it. What else do I need? Oh yeah, service lines. So service line is exactly like what kind of industry they are in. So it's healthcare. So industrial, healthcare, accounting, and what else? Let me just copy this. Oh yeah, I believe I need to copy this too. Move it and add it here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then click on save. Now, if I need to add like a filter here, so only if email exists. Exists, question mark. Sweet, I'm gonna click on save and then run once. Saw you've been head at Atria Consultant since 2017. Kudos for leading operations at a 19-year-old company with 200 plus employees. Quick question: with Atria Consultant covering industrial, healthcare, and accounting/finance services, are you workers' comp and benefits costs where you want them, or is there room to put more money in your pockets? So this is really 101, right? What do you guys think? So this is going to be 101 dream outreach. Well, what comes after this? Well, we're gonna pre-draft the finalized copy, which is gonna be set variable. We're gonna add a set variable here. It's gonna be dream email. All I gotta do is say, hey, Emily. So I'm gonna split the first name. So split is a formula in Make that allows you to split anything, right? So split based off a space because there's a space between the first name and last name, right? So I'm gonna split it and then get one because usually this is first name is 1, right? And last name is 2, right? There's 1, 2, right? And I'm gonna add a dash. And I believe this is split based off a space and then get 1, yes. I'm gonna add this and I'm gonna say, reason I asked is because I built a system that can connect you with a PO specialist that just saved another multi-state agency 1.3 million by getting rid of all their separate brokers and putting everything under one roof. Would it be helpful if I make the intro? See how it's so human? So all I gotta do is just run once. Done. See? Hey, Emily. Oh, I forgot to add the first name here. Okay. So you want to add the first name, not the email. The full name. So let's just save. Let's run once again. Why not? And then let's just see here. And okay. So Emily, saw you've been head of operations at Istria Consulting 2017. Quick question. Awesome. Everything's good. All right. So last step is basically just plugging everything to Instantly, right? So automate everything. So I'm going to go to Instantly, right? And then I'm going to create a new campaign. Let me check if I'm recording. Yes, I am. Awesome. So I'm just going to log in. Great. And I'm going to create a new campaign. I'm just naming it 4K first line award. And all I got to do is go to this plus button, go to Instantly, create a lead. This is the module that you want, create a lead. There we go. And then all you got to do, right, is you just want to authenticate. When I click on add, you see this API key, you will find it here by going to settings, integrations, API keys, and you want version 2, and you're going to create an API key, X, for example, name it whatever you want, and all. Once you do that, you're going to get it, and you're just going to plug it here. I already have it, so I don't need to do it. So all I got to do is go to first line award 4K. The email is going to be obviously the email that we found. The personalization is the entire copy. The website, we already have the website, which is domain. Last name is all we got to do. So we need the first and last name. So, okay. Full name, do the same thing, split based off a space. And then what? Again, get 2, since it's the last name. Copy it. Oops. copy it here, and then go back, and now do one. Just put one. Choose the company name. Well, the company name is what? Atria Consulting. We already have it here. And that's pretty much it, right? Add to instantly. Okay, now let's run once. Obviously, we're going to have it here. And then we're going to run in terms of like 3 or maybe 10 records and see. Obviously, we got everything here. If I go to campaigns, so I got my lead here. Awesome. I got Emily here. And I'm going to add my personalization here. And then all I got to do as intro for first name, which is intro for Emily. And I click on save. And I'm also going to add send from my iPhone since it's a pretty long copy. And if she sees this or any lead sees this, they're going to be like, oh, this person actually wrote this. They know everything about me and they sent it from their phone. That's amazing. That's insane, right? So let's just run this, for example, at like 10. Done. Great. Let's read through this scene. Saw you've been a CSO at Integrity Staffing since 2019. Kudos for leading a strategy at a 20-year-old company with 1,000 plus employees. Excellent. Everything looks good to me. Right. Great. See Greg. Hey Greg, saw you've been VP at Emerson since 2012. Bradley. Hey Bradley, since you're CBO at Williams since 22, 52-year-old company. Wow. So people's data labs is insane, man. So far we found all the emails, right? That's a gold mine of data from just industry databases, right? So we found 10. I believe we're going to find all the emails, yeah. Because the reason why we found in all the emails is because the data is actually accurate, right? Because it's from industry database, which I always say industry databases are the most accurate database you can find, and also data like people's data labs. Also, it's pretty good. So it's going to give you the right decision maker, the right person there, which means the email finder is going to find email because it's an actual person. Because an email finder cannot find the email if maybe the first name or last name are not actually correct, because we're going to try Greg at, for example, Emerson Group Inc., right? Now, if they don't find it at Greg, so we're going to try Greg Podolsky at X, Y, and Z. Now, the reason why they found it quickly is because they already exist there, right? They tried at this person and they found it, right? Because it actually exists. So I hope this makes sense, right? So we added everything here. Looks like everything is good. Sweet. Pride staff. Hey, Mike. So I've been VP at GNG7 since 1999. Wow. So that's how you do it, guys. TLDR, what we've done, let me just give you a recap. Well, what we've done is just we used Instant Data Scraper. Well, before that, we found an industry database, which was this one right here, American Staff and Industry. And then we essentially just extracted the data using Instant Data Scraper. Once we did that, we dumped it into Google Sheets, right? Obviously, you can put here whatever you want, how many states you want, right? And then after that, we just enriched the decision maker using People's Data Labs. You can use this or like enrich with Apollo, but I would highly recommend you guys use People's Data Labs. It's more accurate, it's more old, right? And it's more, I would say, premium, right? And then you would find the emails using an email finder or similar, could be Prospeo, find email, whatever you want. And then after that, you just generate a Dream Outreach, plug to instantly, right? Everything is good, right? You can have like a VA that does this for you, for example, every single day. It just puts them in a Google Sheets, and every single day, it will, for example, check if there's like a new list. And for example, every day at like, for example, 9 a.m., right? And they can pretty much automate the entire thing, right? So that's how we do it, guys. Hopefully you guys found value in this video. And like I always say, get out there, take action. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.